Despite some delays, people, hey, we're here Monday of a #1 forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. Touchdown, Alabama Magazine, Crimson Tide, LSU week. The game, Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time, kickoff, ESPN. We'll have the call from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Got a lot to talk about on today, but we're bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming you the show on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, go ahead right now, drop a thumbs up, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on, hit that little bell so that way you can get caught up on all of your news, notes, alerts, entertainment, and coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. We got a lot to get into today, a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. A little bit later on in the show, we'll be joined live by Bo Scarbrough, former Alabama football running back, played from 2015 to 2017, two-time national champion. He's got some thoughts here on the Alabama-LSU matchup, so it'll be awesome to get those thoughts from him. But we also want to hear from you tonight, the Tide faithful. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you. Coach Saban left us a really positive update during his press conference this morning or this afternoon, and talking about one Drew Sanders, sophomore outside linebacker. The young man will practice this week. I think he'll have one more x-ray done this week. They'll be monitoring him, but should he be cleared, he will play this week against LSU on Saturday. So keeping all fingers crossed that the Crimson Tide will have Drew Sanders on the field. He practiced over the bye week. He looked good there. He'll have a little bit more work done this week, and like I said, hopefully he will be cleared to go out there and play against LSU. We have not seen Sanders on the field since the Ole Miss matchup. But as always, we got to shout out my man John Ivory here in the production studio, doing his thing here on the ones and twos. And John, how about those comments right now, John? What we got in the comment line?
Hey, what's going on? Surprise, we up in here. So look, we got this new thing, right? I'm gonna be shouting you guys out. I'm gonna be reading some comments.
Let's go!
So we up in here. Talk your talk. We got Gucci Tide up in here. What's going on? We got Roll Tide and Rise Up.
All right, let's go. We here.
Yes, sir. Samuel Wilkinson. What's going on? Joe Kaliski. What's going on? We got Waylon up in here. What's going on?
President Waylon?
We got Charles Cummings in here. Just shouting some of y'all out. We got Anthony up in here. James Knox is in here.
James Knox, big baby.
What's going on? Viper Dog is in here. Keith Lyons is in here. So we up in here. Any questions, let us know. I'm going to be reading the comments. I'm doing my producer thing. But if you don't know me, I'm John Ivory. I'm producing the show.
The baddest thing smoking, baby.
Yeah, I'm producing the show. Now, the thing at the beginning, we are getting it worked out. So that will be fixed soon. But appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm going to be back on the call segment. So get your questions in. Anything you want to ask Steven. Trying to interact with the chat. So turn it back to Steven here.
Absolutely. I appreciate John. They're reading those comments right there. We want to have all the interaction with you, the Crimson Tide faithful, making this your show, doing everything possible to include everybody so that you can let your thoughts be heard, your opinions be made known, letting your voice ooze, your passion ooze on here to this platform on YouTube. But now, we jump to the first topic of conversation on this evening. When you look at the chaos for college football starts this week. This is the time of year in the season that everybody waits for, everybody gets excited about. The energy is very high in the room, and you guys know what I'm talking about. It's college football playoff rankings time. And on tomorrow, being Tuesday, the first installment of CFP rankings from the committee comes for this season. Now, since 2014, the rankings have been a thing. It originated in 2014. We all know the story how people thought the BCS system was not fair, although it was great for Alabama winning 3 national titles in the BCS era. But people felt like, well, the BCS It's not giving the little guys a fair shot. It's not giving everybody a chance. It's not including enough people. We're tired of seeing the same old teams win national championships. So that caused the human eye, the human interest, the human eye test, if you will, and that brought in the college football playoff era. Now, it's been around since 2014. This will be the 8th year of the CFP, and when you look at Alabama in particular, the updated AP poll rankings came out on Sunday. Alabama listed at number 3 behind number 2 Oklahoma, number 2 Cincinnati, and number 1 Georgia. So Bama so far number 3 here in the updated Associated Press poll rankings. Now, when you look at just the playoff here in terms of Alabama, the Tide has had success here in the CFP. You go back to 2014 and the inauguration of it. Alabama got in there, lost to Ohio State in the semifinal round. 2015, Bama gets back to the playoff. It takes care of Michigan State in the semifinal round, beat Clemson in the national championship. 2016, with that vaunted, scary Alabama defense, Jalen Hurts, freshman year at quarterback, Bama gets back to the playoff. It gets to the national championship game against Clemson, and the second matchup with Deshaun Watson, unfortunately, Alabama took a loss there. 2017, Bama gets back to the college football playoff. It beats Clemson in the semifinal round. National championship game, we all know the story. Second half, the switch from Jalen Hurts to Tua Tagovailoa. Alabama got the win there over Georgia. 2018, Bama back in there again. We saw the results there. Bama winning the semifinal round against Oklahoma. Got to the national championship game against Clemson. Unfortunately, lost there 44-16 at the hands of the Tigers. 2019 was the lone year Alabama did not make the college football playoff. It lost 2 games, did not make the cut there. And then this past season, Alabama, a tremendous year, going wire to wire, got to the college football playoff, won the national championship. That's the number 1 seed against Ohio State. But something interesting here is in the 3 national championship years of the playoff era, 2015, 2017, and 2020, under Coach Saban, the Tide is 16-1. That's right, 16-1, coming off a bye week. The only loss was in 2017 against Auburn. So we will see how Alabama responds this time around here, coming off this most recent bye week. But the question remains, where will Alabama fall in these particular rankings? Where will Alabama fall on Tuesday? Because Georgia will be the number 1 seed. They'll be the number 1 team. That's no there's no argument there. There's no debate there. Kirby Smart and those Dogs have had an outstanding season to this point. So Georgia will be number 1. But where will everybody else fall? Because, well, a lot of members of national media would like to see Alabama at number 2 behind Georgia, just due to all eyes are pointing toward the SEC championship or potential SEC championship matchup. When you talk to people, it's Georgia and Alabama are the best 2 teams in college football. Let's just move this thing to Atlanta. Let's just move this thing to the SEC championship and see what happens from there. And while I would agree with that, and while I could see that, I just don't see the playoff committee jumping Alabama over Cincinnati right now, just due to, I think the committee is tired of hearing, you're not giving the little guys a chance, you're not respecting the little guys. It's the same old teams, it's the same old programs, it's the same old this, it's the same old that. It's getting stale. Get some newness, get some freshness up in here in the college football playoff. And with the season the Bearcats are having at 8-0 under Luke Fickell, Desmond Ridder at quarterback, Jerome Ford, former Bama running back, is having success there in Cincinnati. I think the committee will keep the Bearcats at number 2 for now. I think Alabama will start the playoff at number 3. I think it'll start the playoff at 3 because when I look at Oklahoma and Michigan State here for a minute, Oklahoma, I think the committee is tired of showing the Sooners love, and then once the Sooners get into the playoff, they get waxed, they get hosed, they get dominated. It's just not a good feeling there for Oklahoma. They lay an egg. There are no ratings. There are no TV shares. There are no revenue shares. Like, it's just bad, Oklahoma in the playoff. And the same thing where the Big Ten is concerned. And that's where Michigan State comes in. The playoff committee is tired of seeing Michigan State, seeing the Big Ten as a conference lay an egg in the playoff in terms of production, rating share, television revenue, eyeballs, focus on that particular matchup. At least with Alabama, the committee knows if Bama's in the playoff, we're going to get big game, big ratings, big number, big eyeballs, big attention, big viewership. Alabama is going to play a marquee matchup, a marquee football game. So that's why I can see Bama at number 3. But at the same time, I would not be against Bama being at 4 or 5. And here's why. The motivation factor, if you will. You have a whole bunch of people saying, well, Bama's not good enough this year. Bama does not have a good enough team. They're not well put together. They're not gelling like they need to. The defense is not there. So there's a lot. There will be a lot of motivation for Bama if the committee was to put it at either 4 or 5 and test the resolve, especially if Bama starts off at 5. Test the resolve here of this Alabama team, provide Nick Saban with every inch and piece of motivation and momentum to push his team to have him to tell these guys, hey, they don't believe in you. The outside people don't believe you can win a national championship. They don't believe you got what it takes to run the table from here on out, win the SEC championship, get to the college football playoff, finish the job, and handle business. So while I would like to see Bama start off at 3 on tomorrow, it would not shock me, it would not surprise me whatsoever to see the Tide start off the CFP rankings at 4 or 5. But U.S. fans, definitely want to hear what you think as we go to our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We take your calls. We take your thoughts. We take your chats. We take your conversations. Where do you think Bama falls in the first installment of CFP rankings on Tuesday? We'll get to you guys after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
And we are back into the action here, folks, from the break on number 1 forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Monday, getting that Bama LSU week started off for you guys correctly. The matchup, Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time kickoff from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Crimson Tide trying to reclaim the house that Ed Ogeron claimed belongs to LSU from here on out after that loss in 2019. So we'll see how the Crimson Tide gets down to business on Saturday. But this will be a huge weekend just due to the 2011 national championship team for Alabama will be honored. The same 2011 team that beat LSU 21-0 in the national championship game in New Orleans. So that team will be honored. Also, the 2020/2021 men's basketball team for Alabama will be honored as well, getting their SEC championship rings. Head coach Nate Oates and Bama men's basketball took care of LSU in the SEC championship game for the tournament. So a lot of action here going on this weekend. But before we get into the phone lines and take your calls, call statement brought to you by the Blue Wrench Game, we go back to my man John Ivory. John, what's up in the comment section?
What's going on, man? What's going on? We got some more people in here. We got Anthony G is in here. Darren Watson, We
Let's
got
get
Cliff Reese. BG is in here.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Randy Curvin is in here. Jim is in here. Who else? JC is in here. Eric
JC?
D. What's going on? I saw Coach Smook. He said he couldn't stay. But what's going on, Coach Smook? We're just in here. I'm just shouting some people out. If you just came in, I'm shouting people out. I'm going to be reading the chat. So leave your comments, questions for Steven, and we'll answer them right here and talk your talk. So get that chat going. We got Tom Reed and Derek Williams. J. Cole, I see y'all. So turn it back over to Steven to get these calls in. Make sure y'all light the chat up, man. Keep lighting the chat up.
Absolutely. Light the chat up. Let your voice be heard. This is for you. This is for you, the Crimson Tide faithful, Crimson Tide fan base. Let your voice be heard. Your opinions be made known. You got thoughts. You got ideas. You got comments. This is your spot. This is your platform to do so. Appreciate my man John Ivory in the production studio getting those comments read out. But now we take your calls, 205-448-1358. Number to call in and get your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. We grab this call right here. You're live on a Monday. What's up? What's popping? What's happening? State your name and where you're calling from.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, it's popping. Oh, hang on now. Oh, come on over, Stephen. Whole lot of shaking going on. Oh, Lord have mercy. Come on over, Stephen. He got the bull by the horns. I'm telling you what, it's corn dog week. It's November the 1st. I want y'all just to listen just a minute. Be quiet and listen. Take a deep breath. What y'all smell? Whew, I smell Auburn. They coming. Whew. I tell you what, I got to get me something clear my head up. Boy, we had a good press conference today. I'm glad to hear about Drew Sanders. Boy, we need him back on defense. I'm telling you, that's a key man on defense. It's going to take a lot. It's going to make a lot of difference on defense when Drew Sanders gets back on there, Steven. I'm telling you what. But, that just really excited me today. Give me some more news that's going to get me wound up here. Give me something else. Talk to me. Tell me something good.
Well, right now, weighing in on the basketball front, Coach Oates is recruiting. Alabama brought in a 4-star forward. Noah Clowney will be at Alabama for 2022. Alabama men's basketball for 2022 class in the top 10 in the nation for recruiting. Coach Oates bringing them in here.
But I'll tell you what, we running the table on everything: baseball, softball, basketball, football. I'll tell you what. All right, we'll get out of here real quick. Got some more good news. Blue Wrench Gang, everybody in the chat, cities, town, countries, states. I see everybody in here. There's so many. It's hard for me to holler at you, so I holler at you now. I'm waving to everybody. I love everybody here in the chat. Be safe. Let's have a good week. Let's come back on Wednesday. It's corn dog week. Remember now, gotta watch Coach O, watch them corn dogs. But anyway, I got to get out of here. I'll see y'all Wednesday. I love everybody. Bye-bye, Steven.
Appreciate weighing in for the call, getting us going here on a Monday here on the show. We got a couple of super chats to roll in here right now. So first and foremost, we got my man Spencer Radley in the building with the $5 donation helping us out here on the show. And then right behind him, my brother Bill. Bill from New York, that $5 donation helping us out here on the show. As always, people, that daily super chat goes $75. Daily super chat goes $75. Appreciate the love from all of you. Gonna go to a quick topic here, and that topic is on Bryce Young and Will Anderson. These two outstanding student athletes for the Tide are both semifinalists for the Maxwell Football Club. Bryce Young, a semifinalist for the Maxwell Player of the Year award, which goes to the best offensive player from the Maxwell Football Club. Bryce Young this season having an incredible year. 26 touchdown passes, just 3 picks, in the top 10 in college football for completion percentage, not for completion percentage, but for passing yards, touchdown passes, passer rating, and QBR. He's just outside the top 10 at number 11 for completion percentage. And then you look at Will Anderson, a semifinalist for the Chuck Bednarik Award. Here's a young man that's number 1 in the SEC in sacks with 8.5. He's got over 10 tackles for loss. Just a monster season for Will Anderson this year. So big kudos to Bryce Young and Will Anderson, both semifinalists for the Maxwell Football Club. For everybody still on the phone lines, hold through. We'll get to you guys in the next 10 minutes or call back in the next 10 minutes, but we will be continuing to take your phone calls. We're going to go to a break right here, folks. When we get back, we sit down with Bo Scarbrough, former Alabama running back, two-time national champion, to get his thoughts on the Bama Ole Miss or Bama LSU game. You'll hear from Scarbrough after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full-year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
As we're back into the action, folks, from the break on the hottest form for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got to shout out Mechanic right now, who came in here carrying Ulysses S. Grant, the former president. I'm talking about that 50-piece, $50 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate the love from Mechanic. As always, the daily Super Chat goal, $75. Daily Super Chat goal right there. Appreciate you guys. But right now, we go to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up my guy, my man, the OG, the head honcho. We're talking about one of the best running backs to tote the rock in the Nick Saban era at Alabama. Big hometown Bo. Bo Scarbrough is here, former two-time national champion. Bo, what's up, baby?
Man, what's going on, Steve?
Man, I'm good, man. Happy to have you in here, Bo Scarbrough. We got Bo Scarbrough on the phone lines here. Played from 2015 but 2017, two-time national champion, 2015 and 17. But, Bo, I mean, we know what time it is. This is Alabama LSU week. This is one of those games that you always have circled on the calendar, whether you're a player, whether you're a fan, whether you're a coach, what have you. This is always one of the games that circle. But because of the fact that you played in this game, just for you, what makes this game so physical? I know there's hatred on both sides of recruiting because both teams love to recruit well. You got the coaches on both sides, especially Nick Saban, who at one time was at LSU, now, of course, at Alabama. But what makes this matchup so physical for you when you talk Bama LSU?
Man, it's one of the biggest games of the year just because it's LSU and we have some of the same caliber players as each other. So this game is so physical because we do some of the same things in the off season, but we also take this as a big game because it's a big game for our fans. And so, you know, when you get done at Alabama, people always ask you, what's your record against LSU, what's your record against Tennessee, and what's your record against Auburn? Them the three main teams that they be worried about. So you got to make this, it's a statement game. We're going to make this a statement game because we've been being tossed about up and down like a roller coaster. And when we do at Alabama, we start from the bottom and climb that mountain to the top so we can celebrate for those 10 minutes. And we have to come out with our head on the swivel. We can't start off slow. I don't care what is LSU record, them guys going to come to play. And we have to play these guys like it's an SEC championship game. But it's an SEC conference game, so we have to come out head honcho. This is an important game for our fans and also for us because we do not want to be beat by no LSU. You know what I mean, Steve?
I feel you on that. I feel you on that, Bo. I feel you 100% on that one. So you brought up a good point here. No matter what LSU record is, Coach O going to have them boys in here prepared to play in Tuscaloosa. So when you look at this Bama defense right here, this is a Bama defense that there have been times where it's played good. There have been times where it's been up and down. It hasn't fully put everything together. Maybe this is the week where it starts to do that. But when you look at this defense, Bo, what do you want to see from the defensive line to the linebackers to the secondary in this matchup? What do you want to see on defense?
Everybody being where they supposed to be, and everybody's pursuing to the ball what Coach Saban preach day in and day out. Everybody do their job. Stop the run, collapse the pocket, and make them throw the ball, and everybody be in the right spot. This is what we have 5 DBs on the field for. We got enough up front to stop the run. We good like that up front. We have 2 linebackers. They can also fill the gaps and stop the run. So I want to see everybody fundamentally sound, people flying to the ball. They are coming off a bye week. Everyone should be well rested. Legs should be good and go. I'm 1,000% that these guys gonna come out. They're gonna be in the right position. We're gonna have an interception or 2. They're gonna change the game, and we're gonna surprise some people this game. The defense gonna step up this game. I can feel it, because the month of November is when it's all said and done. This is the month you supposed to play football. It's football season now. Once November starts, now it's football season, because you can't lose no game after November. In November, you cannot lose any game in November or December.
Bo Scarbrough dropping the mic right here, talking about the importance of November and December. And also, got Alabama's defense forcing some turnovers here against LSU. We got Bo Scarbrough, former Alabama running back, on the show. 2-time national champion 2015 and 2017. Bo, the LSU game in 2016 saw you as you were getting at your peak healthy on the field. You had a huge game against Tennessee that year also, but that game against LSU, I mean, you were pounding guys and running over guys and pounding guys. And I think that game was in Baton Rouge. Alabama got the 10-0 victory in that matchup. But what was it about that game that had you so hungry and ready to go? Because it felt like at that moment you had got your legs fresh, you had got the body fresh, like you were just pounding them out there in 2016.
Patience is the key. When your number, that's a prime example of what I was saying on the show last week. You have to be ready when your number is called, man, because you never know when your number gonna be called. So I had in my head, I have to be ready when my number called. It's a long season and it's coming. And when my number called, there gonna be some problems, because the defense gonna have to feel what you've been waiting to give them. That patience is the key. That patience bring all the hunger out. That patience bring all the domination out. That patience win championship games.
Absolutely. Bo Scarbrough right here on the show, former Crimson Tide running back, played from 2015 to 2017, giving us the love, giving us the nuggets here, giving us the passion on this show. So last quick one here, if I can, Bo. When you look at the guys on this team from the state of Louisiana that know what this game means, they know, hey, I left Louisiana to come to Alabama. LSU maybe prioritized me in recruiting, but I left to go play for Bama. Like, talking to those types of guys, like, what is that moment for them when they play the team of their home state when they're playing LSU?
I'm going to put it in my perspective, Steve, because I don't quite really know. But if it were me playing at LSU and had to come to Alabama, man, if those guys, I can tell from the way that Cam Robinson and all those guys, you know, how they head were leading up to the game. They were more ready than anybody else in the game, because of they're in Alabama and they coming to Louisiana to play a place where they grew up. Man, it would be hell for Alabama if I had to come and play them in my hometown. So I'm assuming, I would hope that those guys from Louisiana, I don't mean to say that, but the coach on your show, Steve, but I'm not going to do it. They should beat the dog out of them, if you get what I'm saying here.
We got Bo Scarbrough right here. Tell it like it is. Bo Scarbrough right here on the show, my man. Former Crimson Tide running back, two-time national champion, 2015 and 17, showing us the love, spending time with us here on the show. As always, Bo, man, we appreciate you, my brother. Be good. Take care of yourself, man. Enjoy the game this weekend. We'll holler back at you.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide, roll, fans.
Appreciate Bo Scarbrough coming on the show, telling it like it is, getting everybody pumped up for Bama LSU this weekend, Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time kickoff. ESPN will have the call from Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're going to go to a break right here, folks. Don't touch that down. When we get back, we go out to the phone lines to entertain your calls, your thoughts, your comments, your interactions. Ring those phone lines. We're coming back to you after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
People, I'm telling you right now, Bo Scarbrough got the hair standing on my neck. Put me in, Coach Saban. Put me in. I'm ready to run through a brick wall after hearing from Bo Scarbrough in the recent segment. Appreciate him, that interview with him. But we're back in from the break of a number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Monday. Gotta shout out my man Cliff Reese with that $5 donation helping us out here on the show. Showing the love here to TD8. Now, before we get into the phone lines to take your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, I'm going to swing it over to my man, John Ivory. John Ivory, what them comments looking like?
What's going on, man? Hey, Bo got me crunk, though, man.
Man, I'm ready to run through a wall, man.
Like, Steven, you gotta get them, Steven. Leave their heads on the field, Steven. But hey, I'm doing some shout outs here. We got I saw my boy Jerome Lawson.
Lawson?
Yeah, this is my boy Jerome Lawson. Trunk of Funk right there. I played trombone in college. It's one of my bros right there. We got White Knight in here.
White Knight.
Paul T is in here. What else we got in here? I saw Jasper in here. So yeah, we got these. I'm shouting out the chatters. This is a new addition to the show, so make sure y'all chatting it up. Any questions y'all have for Steven, I'm going to be we'll answer them right here, so make sure y'all chat it up. Also, I saw a car tire in here, man. Let the man talk trash, man. I think he's a Georgia fan.
And car tire free one time.
Man, let the people talk, man. If you can't handle trash talk, you can't be a football fan. People are going to talk trash. All trash talkers are welcome in here. You know what I'm saying? You just got to defend yourself. Don't time them out, man. Let them talk. And shout out to Sully 462 and Keena Bina. Turn it back over to Steven right now.
Absolutely. Appreciate John Ivory there reading those comments right there. We want all fans, all conversations. We want them all in here because we all enjoy college football. We are all invested in the sport here on the field. So definitely all dialogue, all conversation.
Wait, hold up, Steve. I forgot, man. Shout out to Mechanic and Willie 351, man. My bad, man. Hey, shout out to y'all. Blue Ranch Gang. I see y'all.
Absolutely. Mechanic at 35 and Willie 351. Gotta show the love to both those two two of the baddest super chatters, donators, family members of the show in a major way. But we take a call right here, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. What's going on? How we feeling? What's popping on a Monday? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Stephen M. It's Robert from Mobile.
Rob, what's happening, brother?
Well, this is the week that we finally get Bryant Denny Stadium back from the LSU. Since Orgeron took it 2 years ago. So it's time to claim it back from them. So I feel like another, hanging up another 55 on them this weekend, just to match the 55 we hung up on them last year to take their house. So I think, somewhere around 55 to maybe 14, 17, that we can put a good beat down on LSU. I don't look for LSU to put up much of a fight in this game because they just don't have it. They just don't have it this year. They have no offense that can worth anything, and the defense is even worse than their offense. So Alabama should cruise through this game, like nobody's business. They really get that beat down mode on them and pull it out for the rest of the season. And because the game is going to be really against Georgia. Although the Iron Bowl against Auburn is going to be something too. We can kneel Nick Saban a bit about, hey, that record at Jordan Hare, Nick, not that good. I don't know. They may have your number, Jordan Hare. You sure you guys can do something about it? So I think we'll kneel them to carry that one on out. But what I saw at Georgia this weekend, I saw a beatable team, an offense that Alabama can hold down to where I always thought to figure this is going to be whichever team gets the 30-point game. I saw a team, an offense that, hey, our defense can hold that down to 30 points. If you come in here, Bennett, and play Alabama with 3 turnovers like you did against Florida, hey, you're not winning that game. So, and if Florida can get you 3 turnovers, hey, I think we can too. We get you 3 turnovers, we win. So I think, and it could be Bryce Young's Heisman moment. That SEC championship game for Bryce Young, so you mentioned him earlier. But if he beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, that's a good game, the Heisman is his. And I see that's how that plays out. But definitely looking forward to claiming our house back from Orgeron, LS, Roll Tide what, and all that. we need to go. You may want to play that on your show sometime between now and then, Stephen. Exactly what he said 2 years ago. I'd like to hear it again.
We will have that. We will have that footage for you, Robert. We will have that footage. Appreciate Robert from Mobile for that call and his thoughts there. We will definitely play that footage on the show because that's some prime time footage that players and fans and everybody for Alabama needs to be reminded of getting these guys prepared here for this matchup. But we take this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday, LSU week. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
Doing great, and yourself?
Good. This is Michael from South Carolina.
Michael, what's happening?
Well, I got 2 questions for you. Alabama's had a lot of good running backs over the years with Kenyon Drake, Derrick Henry, T.J. Yeldon, Eddie Lacy, Trent Richardson, and Mark Ingram. What makes this group with B-Rob, McClellan, Trey Sanders, and Roydell Williams so special?
What makes this group special? That's a good question. Well, number one, B-Rob's patience, number one, because Brian Robinson could have went anywhere else and played, but the patience to sit there and wait behind other guys, wait behind Damian Harris, wait behind Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, Bo Scarbrough. You don't see a lot of people waiting their time anymore. So to see B-Rob's patience, he's always had the power. He could always run over guys, but the one thing he's worked on is his speed and pass catching out the backfield. He's a total back. Jace McClellan has pure speed, pass catching ability, can break tackles as well. Roydell Williams, he's got speed. He can pass protect. He can catch the ball out the backfield. And Trey Sanders, to me, the most natural back of the group. I know Alabama's still working to get him comfortable as the games go on because who knows, as the season grows, we could see more and more opportunities from him. But I think from this group, the patience of this group and the balance of this group makes this group special, absolutely. Appreciate Michael there from South Carolina for that phone call showing us love on the show. We grab this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name, where you calling from.
Good evening, Stephen. This is Kevin, Dallas, Georgia.
Kevin, what's happening, brother?
Plain and simple, I'm going to try to keep this in 250 words or less, Stephen. I mean, the LSU game is on a platter. They have 60 players that's eligible. Then I was looking at as far as on the grad transfer, I thought I saw the following names: John Ivory, Stephen M. Smith, Robert from Mobile, Senador, and myself. So, I mean, they're trying to get everyone to participate as far as...
Hold on, Kevin. Hold on. Now, I didn't see my name on there. What was my name?
They had Stephen M. Smith, and they had some specialists. So, I mean, you was either going to be that pass rush in, or you was going to be that nickelback. But the thing
bro,
is,
I'm the kicker. They had me on for kicker.
Okay, you kicker, then I'm the holder then. And all that was standing, Stephen, it is on a platter. But the biggest thing that we have to, this has to be the coup de grace as far as this weekend because of one thing, Stephen. If we cut the snake's head off Saturday, that means, hey, recruiting will be a bright, sunshiny day. So let's get them out the way, put them out of their miseries. Then as far as guys like Wiggins, we already have Anderson on board as far as from Louisiana. We can get Wiggins on board as well as the other gentleman that's in that class of 22, and then we can finally put LSU out of their misery, Steve.
I absolutely appreciate that call there, Kevin, there out of Georgia. And I agree. I mean, this is a big week for recruiting. I know our own Justin Smith here at TDA has been talking about what a massive weekend this is in terms of recruits. And Coach Saban has been able to go into the state of Louisiana and cherry-pick the guys he wants for a long time. But if Alabama was able to rout LSU, I mean, really rout LSU in this game with Coach O out the door here, it will have no problem by the Crimson Tide, no problem with continuing its work of just demolishing LSU in terms of getting those recruits there from that state. But we take a call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. Bama LSU week. What's going on? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Steven. This is Elijah. I'm calling from Jersey.
Elijah, what's happening, brother? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just had a quick question to see how you feel about this. How do you feel? Because I think this LSU game will be a breeze. I just don't see them compete, and it's like the wind been pulled out they sail this year. But the one game that kind of scares me this year is this Auburn game. And I really can't stand Auburn. But if you look at it, they don't have a bad defense. And the one thing about Alabama this year is their defense isn't playing up to par. So I just want to ask you, how do you really feel about this Auburn game, knowing that they have a backyard Bo, a running quarterback that's always gives us fits? And, I just can't stand Auburn, but that game just plays in my head, man, that, that game could be a big trip-up game, especially it being down there in Auburn. How you feel about that game?
Well, Elijah, that game, if everything continues to fall the way it's falling, could set up to win the SEC West. And that's a scary, challenging thought right there, because Coach Saban has not had the most consistent success at Jordan-Hare. It's not been that way. I mean, Bo Nix has played very well at home. He is that type of scrambling, running around, extending play quarterback that gives Bama issues. But I also feel like this. If you make Bo Nix read what he's doing, because he likes to play fast, he's the most comfortable in chaos. If you make Bo Nix actually sit there and read stuff, that's where it can be a problem for him. So that's the biggest thing for Alabama when it comes to that game, is shooting the gaps, creating pressure when you can, but also force him to read, force him to actually make decisions, because, like I said, he's the most comfortable in chaos. You don't give him a whole bunch of chaos, there's a chance to really, have success against Auburn in that matchup. But I appreciate Elijah there for that call there. His concern about the Alabama-Auburn matchup. But we take this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, I'm feeling great. Steven, this is Mattress Matt from Mobile. How are you?
Matt, my brother, what's going on?
Like to say hi to Robert in Mobile as well. I always enjoy listening to him call in. And I always enjoy the saxophone version of Anita Baker's Sweet Love song by your bakery shop that advertises with you. But I got two questions for you. I was wondering, I talked to you about this before, about Christian Leary. I've always been excited about him because he's got the most impressive, video that I've seen, and his speed just seems elite, But you were saying he's not very good, I guess, when he doesn't have the ball, as far as blocking and whatnot. But have you ever seen him in a practice or anything be just given the football and see what he can do with it?
Now, before the third COVID issue that happened, Matt, I was able to get to a couple of practices, and I see the speed you're talking about. I mean, Christian Leary's got track speed. He's got 10.5, 100-meter dash speed, that Henry Ruggs type of speed. It's right there. Now, for him, it'll be, I think, after this year, I look at next spring. Next spring is going to be big for Leary because you lose Jamison Williams, potentially losing John Mechie. I think next spring is going to be big here for Leary because while he's working as the team's emergency running back, that type of speed, you need that at receiver. You need that potentially somewhere in the special teams aspect. I think next spring is going to be good for Leary. But I appreciate that, my man Mattress Matt calling in from Mobile, giving his thoughts there. We get this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, this is Pete from Bogalusa, Louisiana. How you doing, Stephen?
Pete, what's happening, brother? How you feeling?
Well, I'm a LSU fan. Shut up, Martha. I'm a LSU fan. And I tell you what, buddy, we're going to attack that weak secondary y'all got, and we're going to win this ball game. That's all I got to say, buddy.
Appreciate
Let's
you,
go,
Pete.
Tigers.
Appreciate you, Pete. Pete from Louisiana calling in, giving that love to LSU. We'll see. We shall see what happens this week, and we shall see. But appreciate Pete right there. We grab this call. You're live on the show on a Monday. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? This is Sean from Huntsville.
Sean, what's happening, big homie?
Hey, brother. How you been, man?
Man, I cannot complain, man. Grinding, man. Trying to make this the show that all fans can come to and drop anchor.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the last caller, Pete from LSU. Whatever he drinking, I need some of that.
I don't know, man. I think John Ivory may know what Pete got his hands on too. But go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, real quick. Want to say, I honestly, I hope, man. I'm hoping and got both fingers crossed that Trey Sanders get more involved in the offensive game plan. I personally think Trey is the best back on the roster. Mean jump cut, man. I'm hoping he gets more involved. I'm hoping Chris Owens is put back at center, maybe. You know what I mean? Give him a shot back at center and try somebody else at right tackle during this bye week. And lastly, what's up with Coach O, man? Why is it every week we play this guy? Well, not every week, but every year we play this guy for the last 2 years. It's always, well, we don't have enough players. He pulled it last year. I understood last year, COVID, okay, cool. Now you don't got enough people to scrimmage. Why is that making headlines before the Bama game every year? That's so Coach O. You know what I mean? So Coach O, man.
I mean, Sean, what I think it is I think LSU and the organization and the fans down there, they know that there's something deeper going on behind the curtain. And they are clutching that 2019 national championship trophy, I guess a bottle of wine, and they praying hard that the NCAA don't blow the doors on this.
Exactly, man. That guy came to the field, and if he win, he win. But to call the players into the center of the field like that, I don't really care what he did in the locker room. That's their business. But when you call the players into the center of Bama's field and break it down like that and disrespect everybody who wore that crimson jersey, I got a problem with that, man. So I'm hoping we hang a 50-piece the first half. But thank you for taking my call, Steven. I'll be tapped in, brother, and as always, I'll continue to support.
Absolutely. Sean from Huntsville, appreciate the call coming from my guy right there, giving his thoughts on the show. We grab this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. Bama, LSU week. What's happening? State your name and where you're calling from.
You know who it is, Mr. Smith. It's
Oh,
Kyle
man.
from Foley, Alabama. You know how we get down. Pete, I don't know what he's smoking on that same stuff Jameis Winston been smoking on. LSU ain't about to pass against nobody. They ain't about to do a thing. Ed Orgeron want to sit over there and make excuses all week. Oh, I don't have enough players. I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. If he don't get his Freddy Cougar looking self down somewhere, they are going to get the brakes beat off of them. He said this was our house 2 years ago. He said we own them. Oh, okay. 2 years later, fast forward. Alabama and Nick Saban, they've been waiting on Ed Orgeron. They've been waiting on LSU. I don't care how many people you got hurt. I don't care who shows up in that ugly purple and gold. Alabama's going to come, and they're going to dominate LSU on Saturday night. They are going to send the LSU Louisiana State University program. They're going to set them back for 20 years. And just all these other coaches in the SEC need to take notice. Don't you come at Alabama. Don't you poke the bear. We will have your coach fired. We will have your whole program flipped upside down. Don't you dare talk about Alabama. And don't you keep our name out your mouth. And Georgia and Auburn, it's coming. It's November. It's where champions are made. Roll Tide.
We got Kyle from Foley, man. Kyle putting it down from Foley. Appreciate Kyle there for that call. We're going to jump back to the phone lines here in a minute. We got a few super chats to get to. Appreciate the love from all of you guys. We got Spencer Reveley starting us off with that $5 donation. Appreciate the love from Spencer. Behind Spencer, let's see here. We got McConaughey again with that $10 donation. You know what that means? The daily super chat goal of $75 has been met thanks to you, the awesome fans here of Crimson Tide football. We grab this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. Bama LSU week. How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Mike calling out of Jacksonville, better known as the Bama Hammer out of Jacksonville. How you doing, Steve?
Mike, doing fantastic, brother. How you feeling?
Well, you know what? Sean from Huntsville actually hit some of my major spots. You know, they really do need to move Chris Owens back to center. And I think J.C. Latham needs to go to right tackle.
I've been saying that the whole time.
I know it, and this is what drives me crazy. I got my voice back because I be shouting at the TV so much. This is what I want to see, man. And and it drives me crazy. I want to see A. Hall in the lineup. I know he's got academic problems. But I don't know if you've seen the video on this guy, Steve, when he did an exhibition game this past summer, because he's out of South Florida, against NFL cornerbacks and defensive backs. They couldn't stop him. They could not stop this kid, man. And I'm talking about if he's in the lineup, you put him in the lineup, you put JoJo Earl in the lineup, you got Billingsley, and then you take Williams. Hopefully now he can stop dropping the ball. And you put them, I'm telling you, Bama cannot be stopped offensively. And so, I hope they work this thing out with Hall. I don't know if you got any more insight on that kid. But, man, I'm telling you, he's like a Michael Jordan sitting on the bench right now, not even being used. And then I like to see Trey Sanders. Just like Sean said, I think that Trey Sanders is the best back. And I don't understand why Saving them is not using this doggone guy, man. I know he was injured before, but he's healthy now. And to me, he's a better back. But if you line it up with Hall, JoJo Earl, Billingsley, and Lateau, you put those guys in, man, I'm telling you, the offense is non-stoppable. But right now, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Kristen Harris and Henry To'oTo'o. Those guys, man, from the linebacker standpoint, they need to get their act together. Time and time again, I watch these guys, man, up in the center. They just seem to be lost. And so that drives me crazy. And a lot of times I lose my voice And the one guy that's on my hit list too is Joe. And I've been saying this for years, man, with Joe, that Joe will get up there. If you can go back and look at the games, if you think I'm blowing smoke, go back and look at the games. At times you can't even see him in the highlights. That, if a team is 3rd and 4, and then he's sitting back 15 yards. Why are you sitting back 15 yards if they only need four yards to get the first down? And then he'll get up there, he'll get right up on the guy, on the wide receiver, and then he'll just run right past him. So that kind of drives me crazy. But I don't know if you got any insight on Hall and if anything is going to happen with this kid. I'm scared he's going to end up going to the transfer portal. But do you have anything on this kid?
I don't have anything new on him as of now. I really hope, like you were saying, that he does not end up transferring, because I watched the video of him clowning a lot of those NFL DBs. I was there in the spring game with the performance he put on there. This is a difference maker type of athlete. So I really hope the coaching staff finds a way to keep him here. But I definitely appreciate my man calling in right there, giving his thoughts on Ajay Hall as well as other players here. We take a call right here. You're live on the show on a Monday. Bama, LSU, week, state, your name, and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. How you doing?
My man Bill, what's happening, brother?
Well, I came in tonight really calm. I felt like pretty good tonight. Then I listened to Bo talk. I want to put my head through a sheetrock wall. He got me all fired up. My thing is this. I think the defense really has to come around. I think they have to show up. I want to see a lot of pass pressure. I want to see blitzes from branch number 14. He really gets in. It's hard to expect our offense to be as good as they were last year. We lost such great plays, but I think the defense can be better than they were last year. And I don't know, man. That's all I want to say. And just thanks again, and roll Tide.
Absolutely. Bill from New York calling in right there. And having Drew Sanders back, getting a chance to get Drew Sanders back against LSU, that will make a big deal. The reason why we all saw this young man grow prior to getting hurt against Ole Miss. So bringing back Drew Sanders is a big deal. What I want to see, though, it's just the entire defensive front getting a push. From Fedarian Mathis to Byron Young, these guys getting a push up front, affecting Max Johnson there in the pocket, left-handed quarterback. And then, the linebackers in place. Everybody communicating. Communication is the big thing, because what I see on the field is the first call may get in, but then having that call reiterated so that everybody hears the call, that's not being done. And this is the reason why Bama has guys misaligned. Bama has guys out of spots. Bama has guys that don't know what's going on the field, because the communication is not being reciprocated throughout the entire defense. So Bama's got to communicate all throughout the defense to get something done, to get something happening, but that's just me. We grab a call here. You're live on the show here on a Monday. Bama, LSU, week, state, your name, and where you calling from.
What's up, man? It's Uncle Charles, man.
Uncle Charles here, baby.
What's going on, man? Let me just start by saying this. Man, I'd like to say, man, you're doing one hell of a job, man. We appreciate you. We love you. And I pray for you every day, man, to take your show higher and higher, man, to the highs of peace. And I just want to get that out the way. But let me just say this. I'm not worried about LSU, because the last time I seen Alabama beat LSU, it was pretty bad. I didn't know what I was watching. I didn't know I was watching The Exorcist or Stigmata. I said, what is this? It was a horror show. So I'm not worried about LSU, but I am just a little nervous about Auburn. Auburn, it will make their year just to destroy our year. And Georgia don't want none of us. They just can't beat us. So I know Georgia's pulling for Auburn to go ahead and put us away where they can go to the national championship and win. Well, the same thing happened to LSU. And how they look? Man, I know. People have a hard time with that coach down there. What they say, Ed? Man, don't be at a restaurant at McDonald's and he ordering food. Let me get up. Let me get 2 cheeseburgers. Look, man, listen. I don't know what you're saying, but you might come inside and make your order. Let me just say this, man. Don't be afraid of what's in front of you. I mean, when we were teenagers, we used to jump in Village Street naked and get our kneecap knocked off. But we was young. Once you get older, you don't do mess like that no more. But let me just say this. Any two times you got to question yourself, then you really don't believe in yourself. Now, let me just say this. They did a graph of Nick Saban, a picture of what Nick Saban would look like in 2033. And after I saw it, I said, Coach Saban, we need to go ahead and get a few more championships. We don't need to wait that long. Let me just say this in closing. If you got to question yourself of who you are at this point in your life, then you ain't got nowhere. If you got to ask a question, how in the world did a gopher rat eat through a steel door? Then you don't want to know. And that's all I got to say, bro, and I love you, bro.
Appreciate Uncle Charles calling in, man. Uncle Charles, my man out of Birmingham, giving his thoughts here on the show. Always a great call from Uncle Charles, but you gotta love that guy. We grab a call right here. You're live on the show. Bama LSU week. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Stephen, roll tide, roll tide. This is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, how we feeling?
I'm doing good, doing good. How you doing, Stephen?
I cannot complain here. I can't complain. It's going to be a good week between Alabama and LSU. I'm good.
I'm ready. Look, Stephen, I got two questions I want to ask you. The first question I want to ask you, besides Will Anderson, who is the other leader that is holding the players accountable? You know, who is the other leader? What's the other player that's like getting in those players' face, say, look, we want to hold you accountable. We want the defense to be held accountable. The old line, the offense, everybody. So who is that other leader that's standing up, getting in the player's face? And my second question is, personally, I think Will Anderson needs to be taught in the Heisman conversation. What you think?
I think Will Anderson definitely needs to be somewhere in that Heisman conversation because he is a dominant player. Now, of course, for that to happen, he would have to score some touchdowns along with sacks. Maybe he can do that. Maybe he can. We'll have to see. But getting back to your first question, I want to say Phidarian Mathis, but I don't know how much Mathis is getting in folks' faces. So I'm going to have to go with probably Malachi Morris, that next guy. Because him in that secondary, he calls the defensive signals out for that defensive secondary. So if not Phidarian Mathis, I would go Malachi Moore there. But we appreciate Stephanie, my girl Stephanie, there for that call, her thoughts there on the defense. We grab this call here. You're live on the show on a Monday. What's going on, people? How we feeling? Bama, LSU week. State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? This is Pat from Atlanta, man.
Pat, what's happening, brother?
What's going on, man? So I was calling in, man. During this year, I just felt like Alabama's played the best players that I'm seeing. It just seemed like a lot of talent, and I think Ajayi spoke up about it with himself sitting down. I don't know if there's outer things going on without the team. You know what I'm saying? Like without the team being played or whatever. But just I'm saying the best players being played to me. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people share that same sentiment. They feel like the guys that should be out there are not out there. And from time to time, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, as good, as talented as Henry To'o is, there are times where I look at Jalen Moody would probably be better fitted there. When I look at Christian Harris, despite him being an older guy, a veteran player on the team, there are times I look at, maybe Deontay Lawson, the freshman, should be at that weak side linebacker spot. Who knows? I look at in the secondary, I see a Kool-Aid McKinstry. I see a Terrion Arnold. I see a Christian Story. And I'm thinking, my goodness, one of these three guys should be good enough to play in the secondary. So, Pat, I feel where you're coming from.
Yeah, man. I'm like, just let them get some PT, man. Let them get some rep. You ain't know, it just, I don't know. And it's a talent that's there every year, so we reload and they bring the best out of them. So I just feel like just need to, let some guys get some rep at key moments and don't let the season slip away because we can go back to back this year with the talent we have.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely, Pat. Hear exactly what you're saying right there. Appreciate Pat there for calling in, giving his thoughts and his opinions here on the show. We go to this next call right here. You're live on the show on a Monday. Bama, LSU week. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, how you doing today, Stephen, man? I just want to give a shout-out, to the Blue Ridge game. Shout-out to Stephen A. Smith for having the greatest content, man. But I just got a question for you, Stephen A. It's really the defensive line And this is the first time I've seen in years the way Alabama has played this undisciplined. We are getting the same plays ran on us, and Pete Golden still have the defense looking confused. Running backs still coming out of the backfield. Tight ends still coming straight down the field. Christian Harris, he runs straight to blocks, but he's not attacking, and he's not using no instincts. Henry Toto is way more athletic than Jalen Moody, and he has 2 years experience. But not only that, it's like when you see them running around, it's like they wait to react. You don't see them jumping no routes. You don't see everybody in sync all on one play. Like the old Alabama, we was getting picks. Even remember Ryan Anderson versus that Washington game? Like
I was there.
We used to jump screen passes and all of that. Like now it's just like they wait till the play happens and then they just go make a tackle. And we don't have that pressure coming down that middle. We had a Damon Payne, we had a Christian Barmore, we had a Ashawn Robertson, we had a Jonathan Allen, we had a lot of those guys. We had a Jaron Reed, we had a Dalvin Tomlinson. We don't have none of that no more. So, like, I understand the Alabama standard because I am an Alabama diehard, but Nick Saban, he's got a little light on them boys compared to the old days, and he's holding on to his seniors and juniors, but they're not stepping up. They're not stepping up. Those young guns are under there, they're waiting, and they're ready, but they only going to get better through experience. But that's all I had to say. Shout out to you, man. I see a lot of people trying to take a couple get some gadgets out the show, man. I see everybody trying to have a call-in show, but I'm like, no. Bama, Stephen A. Smith started it. But shout out to y'all, man. Great content, man. Love you guys, man. I'm on the grill. I'm getting ready for this Bama LSU. I'm going to grill 2 weekends straight. So shout out to y'all, man. Thank you for taking my call, man. Much love.
Absolutely. Appreciate that call right there here to the show. And, I mean, for me, and John, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine about this. You go back to the earlier years of Coach Saban at Alabama, one of the big things that made the Alabama defense special in those years, Bama had at least one freshman in that defensive secondary, and that freshman turned up. Whether that freshman was Dre Kirkpatrick, whether that freshman was Minka Fitzpatrick, whether that freshman was Ronnie Harrison, whether it was Patrick Surtain, whether it was Malachi Moore last year, Bama at least had one freshman in that defensive secondary, and that one freshman did big stuff, and it led to that guy being freshman All-American, freshman All-SEC, and led to Alabama winning, national championships. So I understand the frustration from a lot of you in saying, why not see more of these young guys on the field? They're hungry, they want it bad, they want it bad, they want it really bad. So we will see what happens moving forward. I mean, I go back to the national championship game against Georgia. Nick Saban, for as much as he loved Jalen Hurts, he said some got to give, and he went to Tua Tagovailoa. Will it take another moment like that for Saban to have to go to some more freshmen? We'll see, but just very interesting to discuss. But we go to a topic right here, and that goes to the NFL. And Alabama fans, Tennessee Titan fans, and NFL fantasy owners everywhere are just in distraught right now because Derrick Henry's hurt. Derrick Henry, dominant running back, Derrick Henry. I mean, since 2018, this young man has become the best back, arguably the best back in pro football. We're talking 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 2 back-to-back NFL rushing titles. This year was on a tear. He is 63 yards away from a 4th 1,000-yard season. He is so close to being the league MVP. And against the Colts on Sunday, he suffered a foot injury and got the MRI done today. Was a serious foot injury, potential season-ending foot injury. He will have surgery on Tuesday. He could miss the entire season straight up, regardless if the Titans make the playoffs, or he could miss the entire rest of the regular season with an opportunity to make the playoffs. It's just all the way around sucks because of just the tear that young brother was on. I know fantasy owners are kicking themselves because Derrick Henry was guaranteeing you guys 25 points per game. So hopefully strong, smooth, great recovery for that young man and that outstanding football player there for the Tennessee Titans. The Titans right now they recently signed today Adrian Peterson, hoping that one of the greatest running backs of all time can piece the pieces back together here with the loss of Derrick Henry. But we go to a break right now, folks, on the show and touch that down. When we get back, we discuss one Christian Harris and how this has to be the game for him to get that get back, to get that bounce back in line. We talk Christian Harris after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
We are back into the action here, folks, from the break on a Monday, getting that week started for you correctly. Bama LSU week game Saturday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time kickoff from Bryant-Denny Stadium. ESPN will have the call there for the game. We appreciate you guys calling in, writing in, texting in, commenting in, donating in, making this your show, your network, your channel, your platform to get your voice be heard. Now, before we get into final topic of conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. So for all of you still overjoyed with the Crimson Tide's national championship from the 2020 season, we want you to check out our championship collection merch. This means you grab you an 18 of them things, folk, hoodie, t-shirt, or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18 We Do shirts. Designs that feature all 18 championship years on the back. You head on over to TDAwear.com. Do it right now. TDAwear.com. Go to the Championship Collections merch tab and get you that gear today, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Now, we get into one Christian Harris. The week of the Tennessee game, the first show, that show on Monday, we dedicated a segment to Henry To'o. Why? To'o played his first 2 years at Tennessee. He knew the system, he knows the environment, he knows the program, he knows the area, and how would his knowledge of the Volunteers help Alabama in terms of that matchup. So now we look at one Christian Harris. Christian Harris, who is a semifinalist for the Dick Butkus Award that goes to the nation's top linebacker. Christian Harris not having the best year this season. I mean, he's putting up some stats, but if you look at the energy, the effort, the explosiveness, the flight of the ball, the playmaking abilities that he had as a freshman and a sophomore, not really seeing those things in his junior year, his third season, but still listed there as a semifinalist for the Butkus Award. But the reason why this is a big week here for Christian Harris, he's from Louisiana. He's from Baton Rouge. He played his high school ball at University Lab School, which is in LSU's backyard. This is a big game for Christian Harris. This is his opportunity to shake back, to bounce back, to start this push to end the year on a better note than what he started the year on. And coming out of the bye week, this is a chance for him to shoot the gaps, fly in, wrap up, make tackles, take on blocks, shed blocks, sack the quarterback, do all that he needs to do in replicating some of the things he did as a freshman and sophomore here at the University of Alabama. You go back to 2 years ago when he was a freshman and Alabama took on LSU at Bryant-Denny. Christian Harris started in place of Joshua McMillan, who was hurt that year. You go back to that game, Joe Burrow attacked the middle of the Alabama defense all game long. He attacked the middle with tight ends, with running backs over the middle. Joe Burrow ran the ball a little bit. Like LSU attacked the middle of the Alabama defense with Christian Harris starting that year as a freshman. So now, 2 years later, for Harris, this is his opportunity to redeem that situation. This is his opportunity to get that bounce back. His opportunity to go out there, make plays, fly around the field, and give a full, consistent, big-time effort there on the defensive side of the football. I remember I spoke with Coach Saban today about Harris, and he talked about, Christian's been better. He's been playing better. He's been doing this. He's been doing that, on the field, helping the team. Well, this weekend, Bama Nation wants to see Christian Harris turned up. Bama Nation wants to see Christian Harris with his hair on fire. Bama Nation wants to see the Christian Harris from 2019 and from 2020. That's the Christian Harris that Alabama fans want to see on display at Bryant-Denny this weekend. Also, when you look at the fact that Mel Kiper Jr., ESPN draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr., has Christian Harris as the number 7 linebacker on his board. Number 7. That means that Harris is between a second to third round pick. Second to third round. And I know that's not what Harris's goal is. Harris wants to be a first-round pick. Harris wants that guaranteed money. Well, you can't get that guaranteed money if you're listed as the 7th best linebacker on the board. You gotta elevate that right there, because when you're listed at number 7, you are a second to third rounder. To me, third rounder, at best. So Harris is gonna have to come back for his senior year to create a higher draft value for himself. But this can all start for him Saturday when he takes that field, when he takes on Coach O, when he takes on LSU, and being able to make those plays on the field, because he can do it. We saw the same young man, 2019, shoot in gaps, fly around the field, take on blocks, make plays, play with that passion and that energy. We saw it as a freshman when he didn't know that much of the system, but we still saw it. We saw it last year when Dylan Moses was struggling for much of the season. We saw Christian Harris in there making play after play after play after play. So I'm pretty sure Christian Harris has not forgotten what his name is. I'm pretty sure Christian Harris has not forgotten how to play the game of football. And I'm pretty sure Christian Harris has not lost all of the genetic ability, all of the body structure to play on the field. So the big thing for him is this matchup. Calm down, breathe easy, go out there and play the way this program knows. Play the way this fan base knows. Play the way you yourself know that you can play out there on the field. And to me, there's a lot of Louisiana guys in this game. Phil Mathis is from Louisiana, and Fidarian Mathis is making a lot of money for himself. Slade Bolden is from Louisiana. Slade is, dependable. Doesn't have the juice, but dependable, reliable receiver when he's out there on the field for the most part. You've got Louisiana guys on this team, but I think of all the guys, this is the biggest game for Christian Harris. This is his game. This is his moment. This is his opportunity. He has got to take full advantage of it, especially if he's trying to salvage his draft stock this year. It starts this game. Even if he's trying to come back and create a higher value for himself, Next year, it still starts in this game against LSU. Semifinalists for the Butkus Award, but I want to see more. And U.S. Bama fans, you want to see more, a complete turnaround here from Christian Harris. He is capable of doing it. You got to see it done there on the field this weekend. But as always, people, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you right here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you taken care of. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on the Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. As always, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're also trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. Click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link found in the description. Also, if you're trying to get that 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That's WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. As always, you grab you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. Holla at your boy. You've been listening to In My Own Words.